What's up, everybody, and welcome to another special episode of the Moose Milk Podcast. This is episode 100. 100.
100? You say 100? Ça? Isn't that how you say it in French? That's not how you say it in French. Ça?
I don't know. I'm not French.
I don't know. I'm not French either.
Well, good. Well, we've established we're both not French. What a good episode.
I think I am French, but I don't know.
Well, your last name would make it seem like you would be, but
that is true. My middle name as well. My middle name is Pierre.
Yeah, well, I can't help you there. I mean, I don't know. Welcome, everybody. This is I guess a special episode, but not a special episode because we have nothing special planned. But we made it to 100, so that's to be celebrated.
I just remembered that it was 100 when you just said that. I forgot because you told me earlier in the week, and then I was like, "Oh,
we made it."
I can't believe we've done this 100 times.
Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's been 2 years and change, but it definitely has been 2 years and change.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. So I didn't think we'd make it this far, but here we are, still doing the same shit we did 2 years ago.
I'm trying to get this. Sorry, I'm trying to move myself into better frame here. There we go.
I like it. How are you? How was your week?
It was okay. It's been busy. Had a fucking busy week again. I was busy making donuts.
Right.
Wednesday, Thursday. It was like right, and my shift had to move to like the middle of the day. So it's like you don't really get any morning. You don't really get any evening. It's just
you wake up, you go to work, and
it kind of feels like that. Yeah. So hey, Marcus, what's up, man?
Marcus what's going on?
Hello.
Yo.
Yeah. So that kind of threw me off, and then I don't know, kind of like switching between projects right now. I just finished that secret one. So the person who is getting that, I can say this now. So Paul Sun-Young Lee, who is on The Mandalorian and Kim's Convenience, I made a figure for him, like an X-Wing pilot, and he's gonna unbox it tomorrow on his channel. I think he's already unboxed it. I'm pretty sure he has, but he's gonna open it again, I think, on his YouTube tomorrow. So I also made something else that I can't share, but
see, if you would have said I'm going to reveal this tonight, I would have been like, we have a really special fucking announcement for episode 100, but you kept this all secret from me, so.
That's funny.
Yeah, we have nothing new planned except that like one of your biggest commissions ever. Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately there's a commission component that I cannot share, but I made something else for Paul as like a little extra. And so that's what I've been working on in secret, but I can't share that part. But I've been working on both figures in secret. One is just a gift from me to him. The other I was commissioned for. And I'm excited. I'll probably post it on Monday if he's going to unbox it tomorrow night. So
awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to put that on Instagram or YouTube?
Yeah, I'll put it on Instagram probably. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Depends how my week goes, I guess. It'll be on Instagram at the bare minimum.
Fair.
Yeah.
So they can follow you at Master of Choda.
That's correct.
Choda.
I was saying to Ryan before we got on here that like I wonder, now they have this new thing where you can like put a title in. So I was like, it'd be fun. I figured Ryan would do something safe.
Yeah,
we've gotten to that point. 15 years ago, I wouldn't have felt that way. I would have been like, this man is a loose cannon.
I'm on 4.5 hours of sleep. I'm very, very tired. So I just was not in a creative moment where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put in King Tut underneath my name, or
King Tut butt.
Exactly.
I said it'd be funny if we both went into it making something stupid, and then the chat could vote on who has the better name, and then we can do a point system and we could keep track through the year. It'd be funny.
We'll start that next week.
Yeah, for sure, because I definitely won this week.
Well, I mean, I wasn't
trying.
I didn't know what it was a game.
Says. I know. I'm just playing with you.
I'm so competitive that if I knew it was a game, I would have won.
And I'm like the most uncompetitive person. So.
Yeah, but you're creating the game.
It's true. I made the rules without you even knowing.
Yes, indeed.
In fairness, I didn't know I was going to be until I put my name into the sign-in thing.
Well, as you can tell,
this is new.
we really planned this out well, and we put a lot of effort into it.
We do really good. Actually, you did. You sent me a bunch of shit tonight. You sent me a bunch of notes.
Yeah, it took me half an hour to write. And these photoshops I've been doing as a cover arts take about an hour a week. So, there you go, an extra hour and a half work.
There you go. See, he's fucking busting. He's putting his the nose to the grind.
That's what they tell me all the time. It's that Ryan, nose to the grind.
Yeah, that's him. I know that guy.
What'd you watch this week before we dive into anything meaty?
I watched not a whole lot. I finished watching that You People movie with
I just watched it.
Jonah Hill. What'd you think?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I mean, I'm not saying it's like his best work or anything, but I thought it was good. So
I hated the ending.
Did you? Like how the parents get them set up or whatever?
I mean, spoilers for You People. I mean, it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, that's why I kept it vague. That's why I just kept it vague.
I mean, it's a comedy movie, so it's not really a spoiler-filled movie. I mean, you're not getting like...
Yeah, you're not like,
oh my god, it's a romantic comedy. They're gonna date.
They're definitely not gonna end up together.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was so like generic and bland as an ending. Yeah. Like they're apart, and then fucking, it just takes the parents coming together and be like, "Hey, we were dicks. All right, the marriage is back on, and we're married." Like, I don't know. It's not how life works.
I never really thought about it like that, but yeah, I guess that's a good point.
They were separated for like months. It's like 3 months later, and then they're just like, "Yeah, let's get married on a whim." Like, you guys moved out. You're not even dating. Stupid. But yeah, no, I thought it was funny and like very awkward movie. A lot of like awkward moments throughout that, like, I don't know. I'm not good at awkward things. Like, it makes me feel awkward. So I usually like when something really awkward in a movie pops up, I like want to fast forward through it because I don't like it. But
fair.
Yeah, a lot of this movie is very awkward.
Yeah, Jonah Hill's kind of an awkward guy. In fairness,
yes, I hate his slick back hair. I can't stand it.
Me too. Not a fan of his look, but
no.
I mean, whatever. It's fine. So I finished that. I have been watching The Simpsons all week. Fuck, man, I'm laughing my ass off. There's so many good episodes. Yeah, I mean, like, I literally haven't seen some of these episodes in like 25 plus years, probably. Like, it's been a long time since I've rewatched Simpsons, really. So yeah, man, I'm fucking dying laughing. I went to go look for South Park, but it's on stupid Paramount Plus, a mountain of entertainment.
I don't understand how Paramount Plus is still an active thing.
I know. I kind of wanted to get it again just so that way I can watch South Park and finish watching New Beavis and Butthead that I didn't get to finish on the free trial.
I think it just got bought again. Like, I think it's getting incorporated into something else. Like, it's going to be Paramount Plus something else, but
plus Discovery,
something like that. Like, it's literally something like that. But I want to say it's Showtime, maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that thing is doomed, and I just don't understand why like Netflix or Amazon haven't stepped in and been like, just come on our shit.
Give it here, yeah.
But yeah.
And then I also watched Bad Batch this week, which was surprisingly good. Actually, really enjoyed the episode. It was about I think it's actually a reoccurring character from Clone Wars. It's like a Wookiee Jedi, like a teenager Wookiee that's a Jedi.
I didn't know that existed.
So yeah, I didn't actually either. So, but it was a really good episode. I liked it a lot. And then I watched Last of Us twice. I got convinced my wife to watch it, which was fun.
Now, did she watch the first 2 episodes, or did she just watch that one?
She just watched that one. But she said to me tonight, she was like, "Oh, if you want to watch another one of those Last of Us, I'll watch it." So maybe she's kind of into it. I was like, "There's nothing beyond that at this point." Like, I'm like, you'd have to kind of watch 1 or 2, and then she didn't say anything about watching it. But the fact that she mentioned it is at least a good sign, I think. But
no, yeah, totally. I'm happy she gave it a shot. She's notoriously hard to please. So
Gunji, that's his name. Marcus, he says Gunji. That's the Jedi.
Oh, nice.
Jedi. Yeah. So anyway, so I watched that twice, and then tonight we watched, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's that new Pamela Anderson documentary. I think it's like her kids made it or something like that.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. It was good.
I can't bring myself to watch it. I'm sorry.
That's fair. Do you just not like Pamela Anderson? I didn't even know she was Canadian. Did you know that?
I feel like I did, but like, I don't know. It was like Baywatch was kind of before like my time, kind of like. Yeah.
I always just thought she was hot. That's really where my interest started from her. But then her story is like fucking weird and crazy. And
I mean, I like respectfully, like when Baywatch was on, I was too young to find her attractive. Really, I was like 7 or whatever.
I didn't find her attractive in Baywatch either. I mean, I wasn't watching Baywatch. So
yeah, and then like by the time I was like, into women and shit as like an adult or teenager or whatever, like I don't know. I moved on to other younger people. Like she was like in her 40s or whatever. It was like, I don't know. So like, I never really was like, oh, she's so attractive. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure she has a cool story or whatever, but I was never like a Pam Anderson fan
story or anything. But yeah, anyways, it's not like I was clamoring to watch it. Kate put it on and I sat there and watched it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Whatever. It was fine. It was
fine.
Yeah. And then not to something that I didn't watch, but just as a mention, we opened up signups for Legendary Summer Swap custom figure swap today. So signups are live today until the 24th of February. So if any customizers are interested, just hit us up at Legendary Secret Swap on Instagram. Just shoot us a DM.
That's Legendary Secret Swap.
Legendary Secret Swap.
Man, we are so good at this.
Man, we are podcaster deluxes. That's what we are.
That's the one thing about you people that I appreciated is he wants to be a podcaster, and I'm like, hey, it's me and Matt. Great.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I had a really rough week, so I
was just gonna say, I know you had a not so good week this week.
My anxiety has not been good this week. I had a massive anxiety attack today, so I watched a shit ton of Jeopardy. I've watched I don't know, like 22 episodes this week probably of Jeopardy. I love Jeopardy. Like Jeopardy's always been one of my favorite shows, but I haven't stuck with it since Alex Trebek died.
Same.
I mean, I don't mind what's his name? The guy host that does it now.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I don't know his name.
I don't mind him, but like I can't stand what's her face from Big Bang Theory, Maya or whatever the fuck her name is. I can't think of it, but I think she's a terrible host. So whenever she's hosting, I'm not into it. But when he hosts, I'm like, yeah, he's good. So,
nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. These were all episodes he hosted from this year. So I just went on like a Jeopardy binge, and I watched another season of Friends, and that's basically it. I watched You People. I played a little Dead Space.
Nice.
Obviously, Australian Survivor. The new season of Australian Survivor started. So it's good. For people that don't know, it's like not a Survivor that takes place in Australia. It's the Australian version of Survivor. So it's like different hosts, different all Australian cast. Airs in Australia.
It doesn't take place in Australia?
No.
Where do they go? Like Kansas or like
Kansas?
Gotta survive the dairy farms, mate.
Yeah. No. So this one is in Samoa. Is it? No. I don't remember. Fuck. I want to say it's Samoa, but I don't think it is. I can't remember where this season takes place, but they've been all over. Like it's always like tropical islands and shit like that. Like basically the same as the American Survivor does, is they hop island to island.
It's just a different like cast and everybody.
Yeah, it's a little bit different of a game. It's a lot longer. There's a lot more people.
Gotcha.
Episodes are longer. There's more of them a week. It's good because you actually get to know the people, and there's a lot more strategy and shit involved on the show rather than the American, which is like truncated into an hour episode a week. So, yeah, I don't know. I really recommend it. It's been way better and way superior than the American version for like 6-7 years. So, yeah, it's really good. But other than that, I didn't watch too much. I've just going through a complete mental breakdown. So, it's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Not awesome. Terrible.
No, it's great. It's been fucking freezing here. Like,
yeah, you guys have been cold. Yeah, that sucks, man. That fucking sucks.
About -20 every single day this week. So, yeah, it's not been. This week it's supposed to be warm. Nobody be worried about global warming. Let's not worry about it because this week it's supposed to be 8 degrees.
This is totally normal.
Yeah, it's February.
-20 to 8 degrees.
It's good. I mean, there was a weather station in like, I want to say it was on like Mount Washington or something like that. And it was registering -100 degree wind chill. And I'm like, nobody be worried. It's fine. We're all
this
good.
is totally normal.
Yeah. So on
That's
that note,
fucked.
yeah, it's the world's not crumbling beneath us. It's great.
It is great.
What do you
But
want to
it
start
is
with?
in The Last of Us.
You want to start with The Last of Us?
Mm-hmm.
So Last of Us episode 3, spoilers. What did you think?
Shit was fucking sad, man. You piqued my interest immediately. So this is what I got on Sunday night. I got a text from, well, it's like a message from Ryan, and he says, I'm paraphrasing, but basically something along the lines of the fact that he's been bawling his eyes out for hours after watching the show.
I fucking
And I'm
wrecked
like,
me.
what the fuck? So I was like, all right, I'm definitely intrigued now. So like, I mean, I was intrigued anyways after last week's episode. Like I was like pretty ready for the next one. But yeah, so I was gonna watch it on Sunday night. I didn't get home. I didn't have time. So I ended up watching it Monday night. And yeah, man, it was fucking sad and tragic, and it was really good. It's so well done. And it's just like every aspect of it's well done. And you still get that little touch of like lighthearted comedy bits in it, like some parts that'll make you chuckle.
Totally.
And but yeah, it was really fucking sad. It was amazing though. Such a great episode. What did you think? Obviously, you thought.
I mean, the show's 10 out of 10. Like the show is incredibly
really
done. It's one of my. I think it's going to be one of the best shows ever made. Period. Like I think this is a top 10 show probably by the end of its run. It wrecked me. The episode wrecked me. I cried for literally an hour and a half after the episode. Like I was a mess. And yeah, it bothers me that it's getting so much fucking review bombs and bullshit from people online. I can't stand people.
That. Me too.
People that are upset about this, I don't understand, because this is part of the story of the game as well. So if you're a fan of the game, you knew this was coming. Now it's not as fleshed out as this, but you know that from the game that Bill is a gay character who lost his gay partner. It has none of this backstory that's involved in the episode, which we'll dive into in a minute, but it's very much, you're very aware of the situation. So people that are upset that this is some kind of like modern, we have to have a gay character bullshit.
Yeah, like this woke thing or something.
Yeah,
right?
like then you clearly didn't play the game, or
yeah.
I don't know, you were blind to it. Like the game has many gay characters and many straight characters, and I don't know why this is a fucking issue for people. It's 2023. Fucking grow up.
I know. Marcus E says review bombs. I thought most people have been loving it so far. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I think there's just a group of people who have been giving it 1-star reviews all over the place, and just like, but yeah, I think the general like census from not even just the fan base, but like, or not. I mean, I guess the hardcore fans clearly are. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because some aren't. You're a hardcore fan and you love this.
Okay, well, the thing is, right, is I mean, I can pull up I don't know where I have it here, but I sent it to my friend earlier this week. The review bomb thing. I want to say
I saw it like yesterday when I was scrolling through something. It's basically just trolls. They're just fucking losers.
I might have deleted it. It was, I want to say it was on IMDb that it had like 30% people giving it a 10 out of 10, and then like 30% of people giving it as a 1 out of 10. Like it was just like, fuck this show, blah 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 blah. Like it's woke. It's fucking the same typical shit that they have to have gay characters and telling this gay love story and blah 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 blah. Regardless,
I fucking hate people.
I'm a huge fan of the game, and I'm not going to get into spoilers, but like the second game has very much a gay character arc within it, and that was a part of the reason why that game was so like I don't know, disruptive when it came out. There's so many people that loved it, and then there was a lot of people that were like, "Oh my god, this again!" Blah 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 blah. So, I'm for one, like tell me your story, and if compelling, and I can relate to it, then I don't care if the character's gay, straight, whatever. It doesn't bother me. And I don't know, like for me, this episode, like I relate to Bill.
When I watched this, I thought of you as Bill for sure.
I
because
am
that's
Bill
you.
outside of being a gay man. Like, I love the idea of an apocalypse. I don't like people very much. I would enjoy being alone and doing my own thing. Like, I don't have his ability with like weapons and
Yeah,
setting
he's
up,
crazy.
yeah, like setting up like a bunker
Booby
and
traps.
like booby traps and
I love how
guns. And
everyone just gets set on fire.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
But
so amazing.
um like, obviously I don't have that skill set. I'm not a gun guy in any stretch of the imagination, but I I've always been obsessed with the idea of like, if zombies took over, I would be I wouldn't mind. Like, obviously I'd be sad losing my family and friends, but like, I don't like humanity. I feel like people are so like,
Someone needs to clip that.
yeah, well, I'm not heartless in a way of like,
I know you're
obviously,
not. I know what you're trying to say.
yeah,
It's just
like,
the fact I know it's just like we talk about this a lot because it's like it like people like humanity as a whole right now is just frustrating, right? It's just like it's yeah, it's crazy. It's craziness. Like I don't even want to get into it because it's a
yeah,
whole fucking thing. But like people are nuts and like
it's
people
just like,
need to chill the fuck out and just move on. Like you don't like something, then just ignore it. Like how long is like that's always been the case. Why waste
yes.
your energy on something that you have no plan in watching? Like if it doesn't speak to you, that's cool. Then just move on
Well,
to the next thing.
exactly what I was just gonna say is like, just move on. Like,
Yeah.
nothing is that upsetting in a television show or a movie or a video game or a book, or like, if you don't like it, that's fine. Not
Yeah.
everything is for everybody. There's tons of
Yeah.
music, there's tons of movies I don't like, there's tons of shows I don't like, or I will never even give an opportunity to. Game
Yep.
of Thrones is one of the biggest shows in the world. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Guess what? I just don't watch it.
Yeah. Same here.
Like, I don't get why people have to be so fucking like angry about things, but like, the humanity aspect of it is just like, I'm not that guy that like loves being at like huge massive events of people, or like, I don't enjoy like the selfishness of humanity and like the commercialism of like the world and money and like all that stuff. Like, I've never been that type of person. So like, if the infrastructure of the world fell, where like we're back to like a bartering system, we're back to like, we get what we need and we're surviving off whatever, and like,
Yep.
I'd be totally okay with that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't, but also like I feel like I would do terribly in a
I would die immediately, don't get me wrong. Like, I love the idea of it, but like, I don't know how anything works. You think I'm gonna go farm? Come on. I'd be dead within a week. These zombies would be fucking chewing my fat ass immediately.
That's so fucking funny. Marcus Yee says some people get mad over nothing and try to be slick about their criticism. It's woke. I feel like people who get mad at that sort of thing share the same brain cell. They use the same fucking arguments over and over, like touch grass. Yeah, man. I agree.
Totally agree.
I agree. And most of the times they contradict it when it goes against their beliefs. It's just like it's crazy. People are nuts, man. People are like, it's just like, and again, like, I don't want to draw the attention to it, but it's like, I think of like the Snyderverse stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, guys, we can get into that when we go into DC stuff, but like, it's crazy. Like, people are crazy.
I just look at it as, if something doesn't speak to you, maybe it wasn't made for you, and that's fine.
Yep. Yeah.
It's somebody with a different perspective, and if you can't open yourself up to somebody's different viewpoint of the world, like, that's on you. That's not on them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I was very emotionally moved by this episode because I totally could put myself in Bill's shoes, and I've always had that mindset, and then having the opposing viewpoint come into your life, like him meeting Frank and him kind of altering Bill's viewpoint on the world. Like, it's okay to need people. It's okay to keep things looking well, even though the world is gone. Like, we still have to move on and live and be happy ourselves. And him realizing that like this beautiful steak dinner is only good because now he gets to share it with somebody rather than being alone. And like, I could totally I could see that viewpoint in it. I found it moving. I bawled my eyes out.
Yeah. I definitely cried both times I watched it. Like it's like I said before, it's like it's tragic. Like it's
Yeah,
you see this guy in Bill who's just unmovable, and then all of a sudden, like after being alone for 4 years or whatever, it's like
yeah,
it's crazy what like loneliness can do to people too, right? And it's just
totally.
like, yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's just like I like that the story progresses. Like I like that we kept jumping forward in time where it kind of like made sense and stuff like that. And it was cool to be able to spend like, almost 20 years with these characters in like, in an hour, right? And
Yeah. And I
yeah,
like that it showed like at the beginning he's happy about it. Like he's
yeah,
getting
yeah,
the boat, he's getting gas, he's like,
yes, he's loving it.
whistling and singing and having a good time. And he's like, yeah, this is what I've always wanted. And then he doesn't realize the stuff that he's missing out on, and like because he's never experienced it. And like whether it was a guy that came into his life or a woman that comes into his life,
Yep.
like the story is the same thing. It's a
Yes,
beautiful
that's
love
right.
story that I don't know, like I just found really touching. And like I love that it also showed their differences. Like they
Yes.
have a huge argument. That's part of a relationship. People are not always going to agree. And I feel like most like romantic comedies or romantic movies,
Yep.
everything's always perfect. It's always happy days after happy days and getting to do all these things. And it's like, no, a real relationship, there's problems, there's issues, you talk things out, you kind of have to meet somebody halfway on certain things. And like
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that they showed that.
Compromise.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
I like
compromise.
that he kind of references that at the end too. Frank kind of references like he's like I've had a lot of bad days. I've had a lot of bad days with you.
Yeah,
So it's like it just shows, right? That's not always. And the thing is like that would be hard because again, they are diametrically different people. And
very.
like, you know what I mean? It's like to find love in whatever they do have is like it's really touching. It's nice. It's such a nice story. And like honestly, like I loved getting to go through the process with them and watch them get older and like even how it all ended with them. Um, like man, I was fucking. And then like when at the end when Ellie reads the letter,
Yeah,
I was just like bawling my eyes out. It's like
same,
so
same.
fucking sad, man.
And I like the twist it has where you see Bill get shot at that when that
Yes,
raid comes, and you think, oh no, this is where
it's gonna turn sad.
it's gonna turn
Yeah,
sad, as Bill's gonna
yeah,
be the one that's handicapped, and Frank's gonna be taking care of him. But that's not the case. Is we see Bill makes a full recovery, and Frank ends up having some kind of
cancer or
disability
something,
or
right?
cancer or MS or whatever that
Yeah,
whatever the situation is, where he's not able to function. His legs aren't working, he's having a hard time moving, he's in a wheelchair, and it's Bill taking care of him. And this is all not part of the game, which is very
mhm,
fascinating. Is when you in the game you play as Joel, obviously, and you get to Bill's headquarters, and Frank has already died. You never meet Frank in the game.
mhm.
um you meet Bill. Bill's still alive in the game. You get some, I think, weapons and the truck, or I don't remember exactly. You get some stuff from him in the game, and you find a note. Ellie finds a note from Frank that basically cusses Bill out and says like, I wanted to leave this fucking dump and you wouldn't come with me, and like this is why I killed myself, and blah blah blah
Oh,
blah blah.
crazy.
Yeah, like they're not on good terms at that point in the
Mm.
relationship. And um Frank has basically decided to hang himself. So
Oh
that's
shit.
yeah, so that's how he dies in the game. And like none of this like loving backstory ever gets explained or shown. So this was all adapted for the show, and like um yeah, it was excellently done. I loved it.
I agree. And the actors who played like I can't remember the guy who plays Frank.
I
He's
want to say
British.
some Bartlett something.
Yeah. And
Uh
then
I'll look it up right now.
Nick Offerman plays Bill, and it's just so well done. Fuck. Yeah, it was good. I like that flashback too, where they have Tess and Joel over, and like Bill sitting at the table with his gun, basically like out.
Yeah. But it
So
also, I like that Bill could like see the reflection in Tess and Joel. Like he realizes that there's a romantic pairing between Tess and Joel, and
yeah,
Bill sees eye to eye with Joel, where Joel's not in this for a romance. He's not in this to play like this like house type setting, right? Like Joel's there to be serious and to trade and to survive, and Tess is there that she relates to Frank, where like it's okay building a world and trying to make everything.
She even says that she's like, even if nothing happens here, just to get out, this is amazing, like kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
totally, like, totally. Hold on, I'm trying to look it up right now, but
he was on the Tonight Show the other night.
Murray Bartlett,
there it is.
Yeah, so like diving into like the Joel and Ellie aspect of it, is we didn't spend much time with our main characters this week. It was very much a side story.
But the time we did get to spend was pretty good, though.
Well, you can slowly see that Joel's starting to see Ellie as, you know, his family. Like he's starting to protect her. He's starting to show those like fatherly instincts of like, you know, the mass grave that they come across at the beginning. Like, I don't want you to see this. And she's like, no, I'm fine. And then when she actually sees it, she's a little fucked up by it. And Ellie not understanding like a seatbelt, you know, something that he totally.
That was an awesome scene.
Yeah,
like it's like a spaceship. He's like, no, it's like a shitty Chevy.
Exactly. It's like these are the things that you take for granted with somebody that, you know, has grown up without cars, without technology. They don't understand what they lost because they were never part of it.
I love the repeat use of the Linda Ronstadt song too. That was really nice. And when it came on at the end, the first time I watched it, I started bawling again.
That is one thing that's a huge part of the game is music. Like,
is it? Yeah.
Not only the soundtrack of like the musician Gustavo Santanella, or I can't pronounce his last name, but he does the soundtrack to the game. But they do like incorporate a lot of talk about music of like Ellie not understanding what she's missed out on, really, of you know, there's a scene where she's in a record store going through records and she's like, so people just used to come here and buy these things. Like she does not really understanding like the things she's missed out on. And like slowly throughout the game, Joel pushes like musical knowledge and taste onto her, and she kind of starts appreciating that kind of shit. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so like it's also a big part of the game, and you can see that they're incorporating that into the show, you know.
Nice. Yeah, no, this week was great. I really have nothing bad to say about it. It was really, really awesome. So
yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow's episode.
Seems like we're probably going to be in for a bit more action tomorrow. I feel like, because I feel like this one was a bit soft on that, even though the story was really awesome. But I feel
I mean, outside of that big raid that is on the compound there.
That part's crazy, man.
Yeah,
he's just got all those flamethrowers going and like lighting these people up on setting them on fire.
Exactly.
Like, holy fuck, dude.
Nightmare Films. Fellas.
How's it going?
Yeah, no, I that scene was brutal, and it was like without Frank kind of interrupting Bill outside, like Bill probably wouldn't have got shot.
Yeah.
But because like I love that aspect of him like dragging him inside and be like really calm, and Bill thinks he's dying. He's like, "Oh, call Joel," and it's like,
he's like, no, "Tell me about the list. Tell me about the list."
Yeah, like he's calming him down. He's taking care of shit, and like Frank's okay at that, doing that stuff, and Bill automatically thinking that he's like the caregiver, and he's like, "No, I got you, man. Like, I'll take care of you." So yeah, I love that. But
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love the booby traps. I love how he's got all these like alarms and flamethrowers set up, and like, God, I wish I had a bunker like that. I would love to have a bunker like that. Not necessarily like the weapon aspect, but just having like the secure underground facility where I could go to, and like I would totally dig on that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope for sure. I'd definitely be into something like that myself.
But also like that beginning part where you see the military kind of like searching the town.
Yes.
Oh
shit! Look who's in the house. What up, boy?
Like him hiding with like the secret, like whatever it was,
the
like
bomb shelter thing where it goes under, where it comes off like it's furniture and it like lifts off,
like,
and like
it was like an end table or something, like that he could just lift up, and like there's stairs underneath. I've always been obsessed with the idea of like secret passages in a house. Like I love that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like a fucking bookshelf you can move, and there's like a secret room behind it, or like anything like that. I'm like, fuck, I wish I had
Stranded Customs built that. It's like a bookshelf and you push it and it opens into his nerd room.
That's fucking awesome.
I know, it's so sweet.
If I ever win the lottery, like I will have a house that has secret rooms because it would
Have
just
you
be
ever
so much fun.
seen have you ever seen those things on Instagram where people like build like Lego into their wall and then you like can open this little door and you look in and it's like a whole world of like
I
Lego
did.
inside?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
so
god,
awesome.
so
Yeah.
dope.
I don't know.
Love
I
that.
just I love secret rooms. I find it awesome. So anything like that, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Nike Boy says this episode was great, got me in the feels for sure. Excited for tomorrow's episode. Yeah, me too. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Sunday nights are hard for me, so I don't know if I'll get to it tomorrow, but I'll get to it Monday or Tuesday.
I'll definitely be watching it tomorrow. I also wait, what's the 5th? Yeah, so the new season of You starts this week, I believe, too, on Netflix. So I'm gonna
Nice.
dive into that. And then
That was the one Nike Boy suggested, right?
Yep.
Nice.
So I binged those 3 seasons, and I think that starts on the 9th.
Nice.
And we're only like 2 weeks away from Ant-Man.
Shit. Yeah, we are. Oh my god.
It's coming quick, bud. Did you get tickets?
Yep.
Good.
Thursday night.
Yeah, so I'm seeing it Saturday, but we can still do the pod Saturday night if that works for you. And
Yeah.
So that week we'll do episode 5 and Ant-Man.
That's correct, sir. That is correct.
Okay, do you want to hop into this DC news and stuff?
Let's talk about DC.
All right, so
that's
I got
my favorite topic.
Shit ton of notes here.
I'm gonna let you lead the way because I barely paid attention. Like all I could see is one half people being excited, another half being pissed that Zack Snyder's gone, and a bunch of shit about how one thing is good by one group and one thing is shit by the other. So I'll let you take the lead, and I'll just give you my commentary as we move along. So,
well, first off, I'm gonna say like,
me too, Marcus. Even though I don't collect MCU anymore, I still like seeing the figures. I hope we get Guardians in their blue jumpsuits.
I'm going to start by saying I think this is a mess. Like, I think they should have waited until they had a really fucking solid, cohesive plan to do any type of announcements. I think they're announcing this way too early. We're 2 years out from any real DCU movies or shows. I'll get into the details of it in a second, but like I really feel like this is a really misguided start. There's so many instances within James Gunn's like video that he posted or whatever that he's like, all right, now this is part of the DCU, but it's not really part of the DCU. And then this is the start of the DCU, but this is a real start of the DCU. And it's like, you guys are still doing the same shit. You have no fucking cohesion here. Like, you really needed to hammer this down because that is where the DCEU failed miserably, of saying like, we don't have a cohesive story. We do not have a plan in place. These things are connected, but they're not connected. And it's just, I still think it's a huge mess, but
I have to go put my dog to bed. Can you just continue? I'll keep you in my earphone, but I'm going to mute myself. So
no worries. So basically DCU is doing a thing. Basically they're calling their phases like the MCU chapters. So we're getting chapter 1 called Gods and Monsters. It's going to consist of at least 5 movies and 5 TV shows starting in 2025 till approximately 2027. But a lot of these movies and shows have no release dates for the fact that basically James Gunn said they do not want to set release dates for these movies until they have a script, they have a director in place, they have a cast in place. They know that they're going to make that date, so they don't have to shift things. So this movie this phase could very well go into like 2028, 2029, like who knows. But basically they're going to continue with what they have already planned. So Shazam 2, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2 are all still slated for this year. They're all still coming out. And The Flash is going to be basically the big reset to transfer the DCEU into the DCU with
which
Flashpoint.
We figured was going to be coming.
Totally.
We've been saying that forever, right? So
yeah. The door isn't closed on Ezra Miller being part of the DCU, which
that's fucked up.
We both found very astounding of how
that's fucked up.
Ridiculous that is. Basically James Gunn said more or less that The Flash is the best superhero film that's ever been made, and that Ezra Miller is committed to rehab and is doing well in rehab, and that we're not counting them out of the future of the DCU. More or less Ezra's committed to recovery, and that we'll see where time takes us, basically. I'm assuming they want to see what the Flash does and theatrically, profit wise, before they say what they're going to do. But this was the perfect opportunity, in my opinion, to cut ties with Ezra Miller and move on. And I just don't understand why they're so stuck to him, or stuck to them. Sorry.
Well, I understand why, because to redo that, it would cost, like, they've already spent all this money, and you'd have to just pretty much ditch it because he's in like everything.
No, but I mean, put the movie out and then, all right, he's out. They're out.
Oh, well, maybe they're saying that just to, I mean, that's the thing, is they could just be playing that role now because, like, it looks sympathetic to Ezra being in rehab. Like, if he was in rehab and they're like, after the Flash, he's gone, it's like that could look negatively on them, even though what Ezra has done is way worse. Like, it's worth cutting ties, but he's on the rebound, so like it might look bad on them, and at this point they're probably not looking for any negative attention. But that would be my guess, because the thing is then it could come out and be like, all right, peace out, buddy, go back to your home.
I mean that very well could be the case, but
yeah,
I think that they're just, if the Flash is as good as they're saying it's going to be, I think they're in a sticky situation where they're going to go, no, well, we finally got a big hit on our hands. Do we really want to cut ties with this actor? And
that might be it too. They may be just waiting and seeing. So I wanted to mention this. Marcus says the plans for DCU looks promising, but I want to see what's up with casting. So it's interesting for me because, as somebody who honestly does not give a fuck about any DC stuff, like, none of this news even like really penetrated me at all. It was just like, it kind of like, I kind of saw little bits and pieces bouncing off of social media and stuff, but like, I don't really have any opinion at all on it. Like, to me, I'm just gonna wait because, like, I like James Gunn's movies, so like I can imagine that I'll probably enjoy these more than I'll enjoy the previous DC movies, I would imagine. Like, but yeah, I'm kind of just of the point where like I don't really care what they do, because as long as they're doing something, maybe it'll push Marvel to do something better than they're currently doing.
I agree with you there. Like, I said that to my friend, is competition is good, and if DC actually gives the MCU real competition, then we're only going to get better films because of it. So that's good. But yeah, no, my overall feeling of this whole announcement was it didn't move the needle for me almost at all. Like, I'm a huge Batman fan, and that was the only piece that came out of this where I was like, "Oh, I'm interested in that movie."
The Batman that happens in the Elseworlds or whatever, that's like the off-canon universe, right?
So they're keeping the Batman with Robert Pattinson as the Elseworlds version of the Batman.
Yes,
but they're also doing their own Batman movie within the DCU.
I did hear that, something with him and like Robin or something, right?
Right. So we'll get to that in a second, but so there's going to be 5 shows or announced shows. There could be more. Obviously, we're going to get Peacemaker 2 in there, so there will be more at some point. But the 5 shows announced, and I'll just ramble these off, and then you can say whatever you need to say about them. Okay. So the first show was announced was Creature Commandos. It's an animated 7-episode series. A bunch of characters that like are, I don't know, pretty random in my opinion, but like Rick Flag Sr., Weasel from Suicide Squad, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and a few other characters I had never even heard of.
Is this animated, did you say?
Yeah. The animation didn't look great to me. I mean, I'm sure it's still pretty early, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to watch it. I don't like animated shit. So like,
you're not an animated guy.
This does nothing for me. The Peacemaker spinoff show about Amanda Waller, just called Waller, is going to continue the Peacemaker story from season 1.
So is that Peacemaker season 2 then?
No. So this is a spinoff show outside of it. So clearly Peacemaker is still going to be a part of the DCU, and this Waller, like Amanda Waller, is going to be a part of whatever they want to do with the new DCU. But Peacemaker season 2 is still coming, but nothing was discussed about it. So I'm assuming it's at least next year, if not farther off. True Detective, which was already a series that Waller takes place between the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker season 1. Okay, gotcha. True Detective, which is supposed to be a Green Lantern's story about space cops investigating a terrifying mystery. It sounds like an interesting idea. I'm not a huge Green Lantern guy or anything, but it sounds like it could be an intriguing series. Like True Detective was already a really good series that existed. So it's weird that they're calling it True Detective, even though that was a separate, complete show. But
oh, it's actually called True Detective.
yeah, apparently.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, like if it's actually like a good, like investigative, cop storyline, I could get into that. But like the Green Lantern thing doesn't do anything for me. But
Interesting.
oh,
Oh, you
God.
said it's called Lanterns. Okay, there
Okay,
you go.
I
Maybe
didn't
it
see
was
that.
inspired by True Detective. Maybe.
Gotcha. So then there's another series called Paradise Lost, which is a prequel series to Wonder Woman, taking place on Themyscira.
I saw that.
It's supposed to be like the origin story of the island and that whole thing. So I find that a really confusing choice, but they say it's supposed to be like kind of Game of Thronesy in some aspects. I don't know. To me, the fact that Wonder Woman's not really a part of any of this is bewildering to me. But
yeah, that's fair.
That show does nothing for me. Like I mean, maybe it'll be great, but not up my alley. And then the last one was called Booster Gold, about a
I know who Booster Gold is. A character, I mean.
Yeah, a comedic imposter syndrome style hero who finds a superhero tech while working as a janitor. It's supposed to be more of a comedy style show, but again, does nothing for me. It doesn't interest me in the least. And then we got some movies. The real kickoff to Chapter 1 of the DCU is supposed to be Superman Legacy, coming July 11th, 2025. Although some of these shows, he said this is the kickoff to the DCU, and then this is supposed to be like, I don't know what's coming first, and I don't know what the actual true kickoff will be of Chapter 1, but this is the first movie of Chapter 1 in any rate. They want to bring Superman back to kind of his actual like kind of origins of actually being like a good guy American, I don't know, style, like family Kansas boy, like not Zack Snyder's version of this like darker, whatever, aggressive Superman. So it sounds like they really want to bring him back to his like good old boy type storyline.
You boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
The Authority is another movie that they're doing. It sounds basically like Suicide Squad to me, so I don't really understand it, but yeah, a superhero group that's not afraid to assert their unique and often violent methods of protecting the planet. Okay, so it's Suicide Squad. Great. Don't know.
Yeah. I think it's hard. Like, I feel like it's pretty, I mean, we can go through this, but I feel like it's very unfair to like, because I mean, you're not a big DC guy either, really, right? Like, you like Batman and
outside of Batman, no. But
yeah. So I can imagine, because it's like, with Marcus being excited, like Marcus, you must obviously know a fair bit about DC stuff or have some history with it. Like, because it seems like, there is a lot of deep cuts here, clearly, because it's like a lot of stuff that like I've never even heard of before. So
yeah, I mean, maybe this stuff will all be great. I'm not saying it won't be. Like if they put out a trailer and it looks awesome, then like I'm in. I'll watch it. But none of this like moved the needle for me in any way. Because
here. But where I was kind of going with that was like, again, like especially with James Gunn, like you can never discount him from that, because look at Guardians. Well, I remember starting to read Guardians a year before the movie came out because I knew it was coming, and I was like, this is what we're getting a movie of? Like, oh, okay. And then we got it, and I was like, whoa, this is fucking amazing.
So like James Gunn is he's writing the Superman Legacy movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for sure that he's directing it. It sounds like they're trying, like Warner Brothers / the DC people are trying to push him to direct the movie as well. But as of right now, he's like, I'm not signed on to direct it, and we're just kind of looking at our options type thing. So
interesting.
Okay.
That's interesting. The Authority is a WildStar Image Comics team. They're incorporated into DC during the early 2010s. They're compared to the Boys or the Elite a bit more. I don't know who the Elite is, but that's cool. That's pretty cool. So that could be kind of fun, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if it's good, great. The Boys is awesome. I don't know if we need
They
another
said
show
not
that's.
Image. I think it is Image. I'm pretty sure Image is the one that got folded in because that was where what's that other the Wildcats came from. They were Image Comics. And didn't guy with the red bandana mask thing. I don't know. Do you remember that show, Ryan? It was a cartoon on Fox, I think, when we were kids. Wildcats, I think it was called. Not Thundercats. No.
That's
It was
the
like
only thing.
Spartan and yeah. Anyway, but I think they got bought by DC. I think that's what Marcus is referring
to. Yeah, no, I doesn't ring a bell, but I don't know. It could be great, like I said, but I'll wait until I see something.
Yeah, same
from
here.
it.
I'll wait
And
until I see a trailer and make a decision at that point.
we already have The Boys, and The Boys is excellent, so I don't know if we
The
need
Boys
another
is excellent
thing that's The Boys-ish. But so yeah, the next movie is the Batman reboot, The Brave and the Bold. It's gonna take place after Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul have a son, Damian, who's basically like the Robin, and kind of, I guess, examine Bruce Wayne's relationship with his son and his son being trained in the League of Shadows, and all that stuff. I don't know. It sounds like a really interesting idea for a movie. I've always been surprised that like none of these new Batman movies have incorporated Robin in any like real way.
I know.
He's such a huge part of the Batman. Yeah, like I was very shocked that like it's not as, I mean, they kind of touched on it in the last Christopher Nolan movie, but he was never actually Robin. I mean, he was a cop, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the movie that seems like the most compelling to me, but I still find it really bizarre that they're going to have two different Batman going on at the same time that are not interconnected, that one's elsewhere's, one's part of the like, it just seems like such a fucking mess.
Yeah. I mean, it is weird, but I feel like a lot of it is because there's so much hostility towards it right now. I feel like they're wanting to just get out in front of it and try to put something on the table. Because the thing is, even if they've been working at it day and night since they came on, they've really only been on board for like 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't been that long. So it's like, a lot. You're right how you were saying earlier how it reminds you of like old DC. Because I remember when DC got like one hit. Like I remember when Wonder Woman was like a hit. And then all of a sudden it was like, here's this new project coming. Here's this new project coming. Here's this new project coming. We got this coming. And it was like 5 new DC things a week and nothing ever came to fruition. So it's like, yeah, I would urge them to walk cautiously, but they might just be at the point where they're like, we need to put something out there just to kind of shut some of these people up. Cause like,
I agree.
Annoying. But they probably backfired because wasn't there like, didn't like fire James Gunn trend that day? Like fucking crazy.
So I see both sides there. Like I agree with you. The DC's biggest problem, or the DCU or whatever, is that they have done this so many times already where they're like announced a shit ton of stuff. None of it ever comes out. Okay, we're rebooting it. Then they don't have like a cohesive story idea. Then things get delayed. Then things get pushed. Things get canceled. Now it's like they're on their like kind of third rethinking of this universe, and it's just like, guys, you gotta nail it this time, or you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, it's true. Especially with having like a notable name, kind of like who's familiar in that playground, like taking the lead, right? Like, but also, it's true. If that drops, then they're in trouble for sure.
But like, also, what happens if, say, new like Warner Brothers CEOs or whatever take ownership of like, are they going to shift again?
Definite possibility, yeah.
Like, the first whatever, let's say Superman Legacy comes out and it does okay, or it doesn't do great. Like, are they going to immediately pull the plug on this and go, hey, we're revamping the DCU again? Like, it's just, I don't have faith that they're going to carry through on their plan at all. So it's like, it's hard to get excited about things that are potentially 3-4 years away.
Yeah. And potentially won't even be here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Marcus E says, I think it's adapting Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin run. I love how these projects are taking inspiration from specific source material. And yeah, he did announce that he has like a 5-member like brain trust, basically, that is like helping, making sure that this is all part of the interconnected universe, and like he's relying on these people for their like story expertise and stuff like that. So That part's aspect, like that aspect of it is really good. He's got people that were writing on a bunch of like pretty famous shows and from different areas of the universe. So it's kind of hard to hate these decisions so early on, but also had to put so much faith in Gunn. Or so much faith. Gunn is taking inspiration from the comics and he's prioritizing the story and connectivity. And I do agree with that. There's one person that obviously understands working with a massive corporation, working with interconnected world,
Yep.
Making sure that the directors and the story writers have their time and patience with what they want to do. Like it's going to be James Gunn.
Yeah.
So
Marcus says, so to me, it doesn't seem as random as it did in the previous regime. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Not yet.
That's
like I said.
That's also fair.
We're very early in this, and
they're laying see something before maybe putting your faith into it or something. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're laying out the groundwork for it, and that's great. But like I said, we're years away.
Yeah.
And my worry is like the cinematic world is definitely different than it was in 2008 or 2012 when James Gunn was putting out the original Guardians movie. Like,
very true.
We're 10 years on from that world where everything was coming out was a huge hit.
Yep.
And not everything now is a huge hit. And especially with over the last couple of years, you're seeing movies
and with the fatigue, right? You are seeing, regardless of if anyone wants to say it's true or not, man, the general population is tiring on this kind of stuff for sure.
Right. So now you're looking at 2025. Like, I don't know. In 2025, are we still going to be excited about these projects? Is people still going to be willing to go see another rendition of Batman, another rendition of Superman? Who knows, like what the theatrical experience will be like by then, if theaters are still around. Like, there's so many things that could change, and these movies aren't going to be $90 million movies. These are probably going to be $200 million movies. So if they don't come back and make bank, is
then what?
Are they going to pull the plug on this again? And it's like, I don't know, man. There's a lot to live up to.
Yeah. Marcus says the bar set pretty high from the MCU, so there's lots to live up to.
And I we'll see, but
and I just don't care.
Yeah. So last two movies here are the Supergirl movie. They want to take like a darker tale or have a darker take on Supergirl, and apparently it's supposed to like really highlight the differences between her and Clark. Her growing up on Krypton and Clark growing up on Earth, and like their different outlooks on how to deliver justice and so on and so forth. So it's supposed to be a lot darker take on her. And then the Swamp Thing movie was the last thing that will apparently end chapter 1. It's supposed to be a horror movie. They said it's going to be really dark as well. But it said it's going to be kind of a standalone story that will incorporate things from the wider DCU, but it's going to be kind of a sidestep from the rest of the announcements.
Interesting. Marcus says really wild how a lot of comics were sold out after the DCU slate announcement. Do you mean comics like the stuff that these things were inspired by, or do you mean like more recent books? Or that's cool. I mean, that's great when that happens. The thing is like I said, even if DC's not your thing, we'll benefit as MCU fans from the DCU actually having a plan.
Totally.
Like you know what I mean? It's going to really force the hand of the Marvel team to like step it up and really like put their best foot forward, right? So,
well, I look at it as I hope all these movies are great, and I would love if like DC came out with just banger after banger, and these were all excellent movies, and I was like, fuck, I'm in on the Superman world. Like, I love it, and I love this new Batman take, and I just look at it as like, fuck, man, we may be at comic book hero overkill by 2025, and like
that's what I actually think, to be honest. That's what I think it's going to be.
And that could be
like you said, if you can't make bank off these things because they're going to be expensive to make, that's going to be a challenge.
Well, look at Black Adam, right? Like
Black Adam's a great example.
It cost almost $200 million. It made basically $400 million, and the profit margin there is not what they want. Like spending $200 million to make a couple $100 million is not what they're looking for. They're looking to make $1 billion and have $800 million in profit, or
especially when you look at marketing, they usually say you take the budgeting and you double it for marketing. That's
right. So it barely broke even.
Yeah, exactly.
So and like I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be probably really, really big.
I do too.
And so let's say the next movie James Gunn does is Superman, and it's not that big. How does that look? What does that do?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questions, and casting is going to be a huge part of this too. Is who they get in these roles, and James Gunn getting fired, trending on Twitter is going to happen a lot if these movies don't match the quality of what people want, and people still want Zack Snyder's universe, which was, in my opinion, really bad. So if they want that, really hungry for that, like there's a long time before James Gunn has an opportunity to shut them up and go, no, this is the quality we're putting out,
Yeah.
So
we'll see, I guess, but I don't know. Marcus said, we're going back to the comics being sold out. Superman or Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow was sold out, as well as All-Star Superman and Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin. Cool. So everyone's excited to see what we might be getting then.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, like I said, I hope these movies are all great. It'd be awesome. But
yeah, I agree.
This announcement, I just felt like it was, I don't know. It didn't blow me out of the water.
All I can say is that I have no attachment to DC, but I also had little attachment to Thor, to Captain America. Right. Even though I knew who they were, I never really read any books with them outside of any times they mingled with X-Men or Spider-Man. So my history with them was nothing, and I ended up loving them. So if these are good movies and they're compelling and they draw me in, I won't not like them because they're DC. Like if they're good movies, I'll watch them. So I hope that they are. I hope that we get some good shit from this. So
I agree with you. I just, like I said, I think we're in a very different time than we were when the first Iron Man came out and the first Thor movie came out. 2008, 2009 is not 2025.
I definitely agree.
So we'll see. I like I said, I wish them luck, and if these movies are great, I'll see them. But Shazam comes out in a month?
Yeah.
Is anybody excited for that movie? Because I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first one, but I don't really feel compelled to see this one. But I mean, I also haven't really seen any trailers or anything. I don't care enough to watch. So
the Blue Beetle movie that comes out later this year, is anybody going to see that movie? Because
I think there is excitement for that for people who are fans of DC, from the vibes that I get, anyways. Because I know that I've seen a lot. I remember when the first image surfaced of Blue Beetle in costume, everyone was losing their mind about it. So in a good way. So I definitely think Marcus would know. Marcus, what do you think about Blue Beetle? What are you saying? He says, I really hope it'll be good. Aside from wanting more variety in DC live action content, I want some accurate depictions of these characters, like a hopeful Superman. What a foreign concept. So,
yeah, totally. A hopeful Superman would be great because it's so different than anything we've gotten in recent years. But I think Superman as a character is just kind of a boring character.
Yeah, for me too. I'm the same. See, I want to see Blue Beetle, one of the first Latino superheroes to lead a film. Cool. I didn't know that.
That's great. But does Blue Beetle have that big of a fan base where that movie's going to make money?
That's what I'm saying. For me as non-DC person, I know the name, but that's all I know. So I don't really know his story. I don't know. I didn't even know he was Latino. So yeah. Oh, he said also the Blue Beetle suit looks badass, and his story seems to be one of legacy. So okay, cool.
But that movie's also caught in this weird
in between
phase where is that going to carry into the DCU? Are we keeping this character around? Does this movie even matter?
I guess it depends how it does. If it does really well, you will probably see it again. I can imagine.
And he would James Gunn was talking such high praise on the Flash, and I'm not really mentioning Aquaman or Blue Beetle here at all. Does that mean those movies aren't as high on your list, or I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point. I feel like Marcus says, I feel like that argument can also be said about Shang-Chi. It appeals to some people more. Yep.
Agreed.
That's a good point. Yep.
I love Shang-Chi, and I thought that movie was great, but
same with me.
Did I have any attachment to that character? No.
Me neither. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't love the end fight, but that bus scene is one of my favorite fight scenes in all of the MCU.
And the one on the outside of the building.
Of the building? Scaling the building. That's fucking crazy awesome. Too. Yeah.
It reminded me of old Jackie Chan movies and stuff. It was fucking awesome.
It was really good.
No, you're totally right there, Marcus. And like I don't have any attachment to Swamp Thing at all. So like if this movie, I love horror. If this movie comes out and it's like fucking bonkers good and it's like, yeah, this is a great horror film, I'll have attachment to that character.
I want the leaked Aquaman 2 Black Manta figure, he says. I didn't see that. I have to say, I never give McFarlane credit for shit, but over the last couple of weeks, he's been slowly revealing this 4 set of like Batman from The Dark Knight Rises, or no, The Dark Knight Return, the second one, the Heath Ledger one. And it's Batman, Joker, Scarecrow, Bane, and I think there's going to be one more. Maybe I missed it. Oh, Two-Face. But man, they look fucking really good. Like really good. I know. I don't ever say that about McFarlane stuff, but I'm not going to buy them. But I mean, I still think they look good. Maybe if they were like $5 and I could get all of them and build a tight little display at work or something, I might. But
Marcus says, I wish Shang-Chi was more of a street level, in my opinion, a grounded superhero film from Marvel would be a nice change of pace. I agree with you, but I also think they want Shang-Chi as part of the next Avengers team.
Yeah.
And he can't be like just a guy that uses his fists on street level gangs or whatever. I think that's where they're going to use like Daredevil and maybe Iron Fist or something like that in the future. Like, so I think they want a new Avengers team, and Shang-Chi is definitely going to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's going to play a pretty big part moving forward. So
do I. So yeah, it's not, you can't keep necessarily things at street level, but I also think, Jesus, go away. I think maybe that's where like Daredevil, Iron Fist, maybe whatever else they want to incorporate out. Jessica Jones would be great. I mean, if Kristen Ritter's back, then I'm in. But
if they bring Jessica Jones back, Kristen Ritter is 100% in. There's no way.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to go up from there when you've in future sequels. I totally agree.
I agree.
I don't know how you get any bigger than that, but I'm sure they'll figure out a way.
But I think they're going to do that with Spider-Man, because you got to look, like Spider-Man started as a street level character in the first one. The second one, it was kind of bigger because he was in a different continent. And then the last one, he was like an Avenger. And, by that point, right? And it's like, and now we're going to start with Spider-Man 4 whenever that happens. And that's, he's going to be starting back as your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man because he's in a new city, new stuff, new everything. And
I hope we actually get like a New York level Spider-Man in the next movie.
That'd be great. I love that.
Actually taking place in New York.
I'd love to take it down to like an experienced Spider-Man at this point who's just like saving people in New York and fighting street level shit.
Yeah, like nobody remembers who he is, so he's just helping out the common guy down the street. And it'd be awesome.
I'd be on board with that.
Yeah. The fact that still hasn't been like announced is really surprising to me, but
me too. But I guess they're probably trying to figure out what's going on because it seems like they are getting a lot of heat right now for what they're putting out, right? So
yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah, no, totally. We'll see. I'm hopeful, but that's a lot of stuff coming out in the next few years.
Yes, there is.
Oh, and he did say too, like they only want to do 2 movies a year and 2 shows a year, so they really want to limit on what's coming out in after like chapter 1 starts, basically. So I think there's almost nothing coming out next year for DC.
Oh, crazy.
And then 2025 they want to start the two and two type thing. So they're definitely limiting what comes out, and they want quality over quantity, which I think is a good.
I do too.
Good step, but you're got to remember that like this is going to be at the high time of the next like MCU Avengers stuff. So like 2025 is, I think, the first Avengers movie comes out in that May or something like that. So they're going to be competing against pretty big bangers.
Yeah,
so
that's going to be a hard one to fight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I also I was thinking about this the other day when we were talking about Avatar last year, and we were like, oh man, is this movie going to do like bonkers numbers like the original and so on and so forth? We never really took into account that there's nothing coming out in theaters since Avatar came out. Like it had basically 2.5 months of no competition.
Yeah.
And so no wonder this movie's making so much money, because there's nothing coming out.
I still need to see it. I'm going to go see it.
You should. I mean, it's fine. Like I said, it's a visual experience, but like
that's why I want to see it.
The fact it came out in December and we're now in February and there's nothing competing against it, and like the next thing is Ant-Man, really, that's gonna have finally knock it off its throne, is like that's just smart fucking release schedule. Like, oh, we know we can put it out here, and it's gonna have 2 months of uninterrupted.
Well, they may. I mean, the thing is they may not have really known that. Like, really, they'd be privy to what they're putting out. But if you look at what Fox puts out in a year, it's not a lot.
Sure, but I mean, maybe, but like it worked out in their favor very well. Very well.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, it did. Yeah.
Because, you know, that movie crossing 2 billion or whatever the fuck it's at, like you're not doing that if there was a big movie in, you know, Christmas Day or early January or whatever. Like this movie wouldn't have been doing that. So
I agree.
We never thought of that.
Usually Christmas Day sees like multiple movies come out, right?
Totally.
It's a pretty big time, like, you know, right around Christmas. So
yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, we were wrong there, but we didn't think it through.
We did.
So. But yeah, that's the end of this episode. Unless there's anything else you need to speak. Oh, what are you doing on Web Wednesday?
Oh yeah, I have Dee and Chris from Astonishing News and Reviews will join me, and we're gonna customize, just do some shit. I don't know if I'm gonna be finishing Banshee and Dazzler or if I'm going to be starting Brainiac for Jesse Rath. So one or the other. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Wednesday night, 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Pacific
time.
YouTube.com/@customs by Matthew, as always.
Customs by Matthew.
Exactly.
And then watch Paul Sun Young Lee tomorrow on his unboxing channel, Bitter Asian Dude Inc. on YouTube. I think it's at 6 p.m. PST. I think.
Excellent.
But yeah, he's gonna go live, and I think he's gonna open something that I made for him. So
check it out. Yeah, next week we'll be back with episode 4 of The Last of Us, and should be a banger of an episode, I hope.
Amen to that, brother.
Thanks everybody for commenting and watching and all that stuff. Obviously follow us at Customs by Matthew and at Moose Milk Media. You get the podcast on podcast services on YouTube. You can watch live on Twitch. Just follow us and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Yeah, appreciate you all. We couldn't got to 100 episodes without people like you guys coming by and hanging out in the chat and everything.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you all as always.
And yeah, thanks everybody, and we'll catch you next Saturday.
Donuts.
Peace. See you, buddy.